morale amongst Irish fishermen is at an all-time low. These hard-working men right across our country have given blood, sweat and tears to their job and see every right they had eroded by successive Irish governments year after year, decade after decade. Taoiseach fishermen have no faith in the political system in this country. They strongly feel as if there is any concessions to be made in any negotiations in Europe, the rights of the Irish Sea and the Irish fishermen are being given away bit by bit. I put to you, Taoiseach, today a number of serious concerns which have simply been overlooked by this government. Yesterday, an Irish trawler was literally being chased out of Irish waters by a Spanish vessel. I had to see this first-hand myself, as it was videoed. And when I asked fishermen last night, was this incident reported, I was told this is a regular occurrence, and the worry of the Irish fishermen is if they report anything, it is they will be prosecuted, not the foreign vessels who bully them with their huge trawlers. Look at the inshore fishermen. Only a couple of weeks ago, I got a call from inshore fishermen off Castletownbere pleading for a cull on seals, as the huge amount of them are causing chaos for the inshore fishermen. Will this happen? I'm afraid not. About 6 weeks ago, I raised the question as to why the Irish fishermen have no bluefin tuna quota when there is an explosion of them in Irish waters. Other European countries like France, Spain, Italy, Portugal, Greece, Malta and Cyprus have applied and got quota, but again the Irish fishermen have zero quota. Last year, I raised the huge losses of equipment many fishermen have experienced due to the massive storms along our shoreline in places like Skull, Castletownbere, Union Hall, and the need to set up a compensation package for them. But again, this fell on deaf ears. Another huge problem for inshore fishermen from West Cork and Kerry is in bad weather. The only fishing they can do is fish for scallop. This entails towing a small metal dredge with a net attached along the seabed. The equipment can simply be brought home in bad weather every evening. The fishing side of this job is the easy bit. It's the selling is the problem, as the scallop need to be tested for biotoxins once a week. No one sees the need to test them once a week and find this extreme, Taoiseach. Surely once a month would be more than enough. However, the nightmare for the fisherman don't end here, as he is only allowed fish to 12 to 15 scallops. He must put them in an aerophil box, and to get them tested they must be sent to the Marine Institute in County Galway by post. This is not only expensive, but it is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Taoiseach, whoever, in the name of good Lord, heard of posting fish to County Galway? If the unbelievables did a sketch, we'd say it was far-fetched. Would you post meat to Galway and expect it to be fresh on arrival? The fishermen must then keep watch on a website to see do they pass the test, which could take 1 week before the fishermen can go back to sea. Taoiseach, we must get a proper facilities put in place in Clonakilty so all this testing can take place in one day and get the fishermen out to do the job they want to do, and this is fish. Taoiseach, 1 month ago, County Council Chambers, my brother Councillor Danny Collins put forward a motion, which was fully supported by the councillors, that we need a standalone Minister for Fisheries and the Marine. Taoiseach, organisations like the Irish South and West producers can't take the huge challenges fishermen face on their own. They will need a Minister for Fishermen with sole responsibility for fisheries going forward.
Don't forget the fisherwomen.
And the fisherwomen. Correct.
Well, Deputy, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to respond to the challenges facing the fishing industry. It's an industry that I know well, and indeed many of the people that work in it I know well as well, having been Minister for Fishing. And can I say that the current Minister for the Marine, who's responsible for fishing, continues to prioritise, whether it's through the Brexit discussions, whether it's through the rollout of the EMFF, which has seen almost a doubling in the funding available to the fishing industry under the new Common Fisheries Policy, or whether it's new innovative policy around banning large trawlers from the 6 mile zone to try and create space for smaller trawlers and artisan fishing industries in West Cork and West Donegal and elsewhere. We will continue to prioritise the fishing industry and to protect the fishing industry from the challenges that are undoubtedly faced, whether it's around sustainability, whether it's around marine litter, whether it's in terms of a fair share of quota, whether it's ensuring that we maintain and protect fish stocks by applying the science appropriately in terms of deciding on available quota each year, or whether it's ensuring that we drive a hard bargain and protect our fishing industry in the context of Brexit decisions. All of those things are a priority for government, and if I might say so, being handled effectively by the current Minister for Marine, who continues to raise the fishing industry's issues around the Cabinet table and elsewhere.
Collins.
Thank you, Taoiseach, for your reply. Irish fishermen face uncertain times, Taoiseach, in Irish waters due to Brexit. In the UK, British ministers and MPs are making it very clear when Brexit kicks in, Irish fishermen are kicked out of UK waters. This is them showing how they are going to protect their fishermen going forward. What is going to happen when other European vessels are put out of UK waters? The real concerns is they will face straight into Irish seas, where they have been made more than welcome down through the years. You know well, you said, Minister, as your Minister yourself for the Marine, down through the years. And I want to make very clear, this is not a personal criticism of the Minister of the day. I'm saying it's a criticism of continuous governments that have simply left Irish fishermen stand out on their own. Taoiseach, if this government is serious in protecting Irish waters and Irish fishermen, now is the time to stand up and be seen and appoint a standalone minister from a coastal community. Stand with those who have been the poor relations in Irish politics for far too long, and this is the Irish fishermen and Irish fisherwomen.
Thank you, Deputy Collins. Taoiseach.
Yeah, no, I mean, Deputy, while I share the view that the fishing industry needs to be prioritised, because just like in farming, many of the decisions that we make as politicians, whether it be in Brussels or in Dublin, impacts directly on the livelihoods and the opportunities for fishermen. In terms of the stocks that they catch, in terms of the trade deals that are done that allows us to export and sell that catch profitably. And so the connection between political decision-making and the future of the fishing industry is hugely important. And that is why fishing has taken on a hugely important part of the Brexit negotiations. And you might notice that even in the most recent decisions before the end of last year, on finalising the text of a withdrawal agreement in the context of now the backstop, which people talk so much about, and the single customs territory, which allows UK products potentially to be sold into the EU single market tariff-free. It was fishing and fish products and fish that were the exception there, because the EU were making it very clear that until there is a comprehensive future trade agreement, including on fish, that we are not willing to give any concessions at all, even relatively low-level tariff concessions. To fish caught in British waters being sold into EU markets, which, by the way, is about 70% of fish caught in EU waters. So we have work to do here, but I can assure fishermen very directly that they are a big priority in the context of our Brexit negotiation approach.
Deputy